How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and welcome back to the channel where we talk about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and a lot of other exciting stuff. But today we have some really exciting info about the Thunderbolts and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, including some leaked photos. There have been reports that the Thunderbolts are going to be entering the MCU, and at this point in time it seems very obvious and very clear that they are. It's only a matter of time, it's just when and how. But it appears that we now know the when, thanks to the community and Marvel insider Daniel RPK. So let's go ahead and break down everything that you need to know about this report saying that the Thunderbolts are going to be making their MCU debut in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, how they're going to be set up to be introduced in Black Widow, go over these Falcon and Winter Soldier leaked photos and talk about just who are the Thunderbolts and how they're going to be taking the place of the Avengers in the MCU. But first, quick reminder, doing an Xbox One and PS4 giveaway. All you have to do to enter is subscribe with notifications turned on, like this video, and leave a comment down below. I'm picking a winner at 550,000 subscribers. So no doubt right now, if you take a look at the MCU, there is a hole in it as far as a superhero team is concerned. There actually are no more superhero groups in the MCU. The Avengers are no more at this point in time. So the MCU is in need of a new team, a new Avengers team, so to speak, and it appears that the Thunderbolts are going to be the ones who step up. According to a report from Daniel RPK, we are going to be introduced to the Thunderbolts team in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Now, this makes perfect sense and isn't that much of a surprise because the Thunderbolts have been rumored to be making an MCU debut for some time now, and Baron Zemo has always been a key member of the Thunderbolts. And even though in the comics he has a group of Thunderbolts that he assembles himself, the group that is going to be in the MCU is most likely not going to be his. It's most likely going to belong to Thunderbolt Ross. Now, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series may introduce the Thunderbolts officially to the MCU, but the Black Widow movie is going to set them up. And again, like I said, it all starts with Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, and apparently he's brought a guest.
We know who it is?
The Secretary of State.
You have fought for us, protected us, risked your lives. But while a great many people see you as heroes, there are some who would prefer the word vigilantes.
Ever since The Incredible Hulk in 2008, Thunderbolt Ross has been trying to get his hands on a team of super soldiers. That's why he's been trying to track down the Hulk this whole entire time so he can get his hands on his blood and try to get his hands on some super soldier serum. And it appears, based on what we've seen from Black Widow, that's exactly what he's trying to do. And Black Widow is going to start the assembly of Ross's Thunderbolts. And it's most likely going to start with Thunderbolt Ross himself as Red Hulk. Now, Black Widow takes place after the events of Civil War. Black Widow is now wanted, and therefore Thunderbolt Ross is tracking her down. But that does not explain why we see him so de-aged in the Black Widow teaser trailer. There's more to Thunderbolt Ross being in the Black Widow movie than just trying to track her down and put her in jail. He's searching for something, and he's searching for something that we actually saw in the Black Widow special look. These red vials filled with essentially super soldier serum. And at some point in time in the Black Widow movie, maybe even in the post-credit scene, he's going to get his hands on one of these, he's going to take it, and most likely become Red Hulk. Thunderbolt Ross is Red Hulk in the comics, so it makes perfect sense. And Thunderbolt Ross is going to be the leader, and he's essentially going to start a Thunderbolts initiative just like the Avengers. And the first person that he is most likely going to recruit is actually going to be in the Black Widow movie as well, Taskmaster. Now, there are many different incarnations and variations of the Thunderbolts in the comics, but as far as the MCU is concerned, Taskmaster is a perfect fit. And he'll actually be in a movie with Thunderbolt Ross. Now, some people may be thinking, well, Taskmaster is going to be a villain in Black Widow, and that doesn't necessarily matter. Most of the Thunderbolts have been or are villains. That's kind of the really cool part about the Thunderbolts. They're not exactly heroes, they're more of anti-heroes. And if you can think about DC's The Suicide Squad, you can kind of imagine how it's all going to happen. As I mentioned before, there really aren't many heroes around anymore. Tony Stark is gone, Black Widow will be gone, Thor will be in space, the Guardians of the Galaxy will be in space, Spider-Man's going to be on the run, Doctor Strange isn't really much of a hero as much as he is a sorcerer and a protector of the Sanctum Sanctorum, so he's not going to be going around just fighting crime everywhere. Loki is jumping between different dimensions, and the WandaVision series is most likely going to take place in a different reality. So the only option really is a band of misfits. So essentially the premise is going to be Thunderbolt Ross goes and finds finds these individuals who are talented and who are gifted but are kind of criminals, and he puts them together on a team. And he makes them an offer. He's going to say that if you come with me on this team and you help me do all of these missions, then I'll grant you immunity on whatever crimes that you've done, or at least I'll take some time off of your prison time. So yes, Taskmaster is going to be one of the main villains of the Black Widow movie, but it doesn't really matter for the Thunderbolts initiative, so to speak. And it definitely doesn't really matter for the next guy either, who of course is Baron Zemo, who is making his return in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
Very soon.
Daniel Bruhl is returning as Baron Zemo.
Now, Baron Zemo really is the perfect villain to bring back for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, especially after the events of Captain America Civil War, where he basically tore apart the Avengers, including Captain America and Iron Man. And he's responsible for Bucky being wanted by the entire world basically right now. He framed him for bombing the United Nations and killing the King of Wakanda at the time. So he's the perfect villain to bring back for the series, and as you can see here, we do have some leaked photos of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, and he looks awesome. Here we have Zemo, Bucky Barnes, and of course, Sharon Carter. Now, what's really interesting about these photos is that there aren't any leaked photos of this scene of Sam, aka Falcon. It's just Bucky and Sharon, which leads us to believe that Zemo could still be trying to attack Bucky. So Zemo is going to be the main antagonist of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. There's probably going to be some other people thrown in there as well as antagonists, but Zemo is going to be the main one. That is until Thunderbolt Ross shows up. Again, according to the report by Daniel RPK, the Thunderbolts will be introduced in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. So perhaps Thunderbolt Ross is really in control of Zemo the whole entire time, or perhaps we'll see Thunderbolt Ross approach Zemo during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. But the big question is, if Zemo is already a Thunderbolt and working for Thunderbolt Ross, what is his mission? What does Thunderbolt Ross have him doing where he's going to be the main villain of the series? Because again, the Thunderbolts aren't going to be a bad group. Together, they're going to be doing good things. So I'll be curious to see if Thunderbolt Ross is behind Zemo getting out of prison, because as we left him in Captain America Civil War, T'Challa did not let him kill himself or get away, so he's definitely in some high security prison. And it seems like the only way he could really get out is if somebody let him out. And really the only person that could do that is Thunderbolt Ross. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Now again, there is no more Avengers Team. We are living in a post-Avengers world, according to Disney CEO Bob Iger. He officially went on record and said that in an interview, we're living in a post-Avengers world, confirming that there is no Avengers Team right now. So Thunderbolt Ross, who is essentially in charge of world security at this point, needs to assemble a team. And there is no more Iron Man, but there is somebody who was trying to be like Iron Man who does play along a lot better than Tony Stark did. And that person is Justin Hammer. Now again, the last time we left him in Iron Man 2, he was being taken into custody as well, so he's most likely in a high security prison. And again, who has the authority and ability to get him out of that prison? Thunderbolt Ross. And if you think about it, Justin Hammer is almost the perfect member to have as a part of the Thunderbolts. He was already trying to replicate Iron Man technology that Tony Stark invented, and he is very smart. Not as smart as Tony Stark, but he is still very smart, and he does have access to a lot of weapons. And not to mention technology that Thunderbolt Ross could actually use, because Tony Stark didn't really play nice with others. He kept his technology, his AI, his Iron Man armors away from the world and made it to where he only had them. He shared things like clean energy for the world, but he never gave people his Iron Man armor. But Justin Hammer is more than willing to comply, especially if it gets him out of prison. And then all of a sudden with Justin Hammer, the Thunderbolts have access to technology that they probably didn't have access to before. Knowing Justin Hammer in the MCU, it won't be perfect, but it'll help. And then of course we have Ghost, who has been reported to be returning to the MCU.
In exchange for my soul, they were going to kill me. They lied.
Now, the last time we left Ghost was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she was running away with Dr. Foster. So she's not in prison or in any holding facility, but that would not stop Thunderbolt Ross from being able to find her. And with her phasing abilities, she's the perfect candidate to be a member of the Thunderbolts. And in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne did heal her a little bit, but she did not completely cure her. At the end, she said, "We'll figure out a way to heal you." So since she's not in jail and is not doing any jail time right now at least, maybe Thunderbolt Ross could say, I have a way to heal you, and I'll do this if you join the Thunderbolts. And if not, I'll put you in prison. So if you think about the Thunderbolts, like I said, essentially like a Suicide Squad, that's exactly who they are. They're a group of villains put together to do good. And right now, with no Avengers team assembled, Thunderbolt Ross has to figure out a way to protect the Earth from otherworldly and super threats. Not just the normal ones that typical people could handle, but super threats such as Loki invading the Earth with Thanos' army. So for the time being, according to this report from Daniel RPK, our new so-called Avengers team is going to be the Thunderbolts. Now, of course, that's not going to be the full roster. There's probably going to be characters that we wouldn't expect to be in the Thunderbolts on the team. But let me know what you think about the people that are said to be on the team so far. Do you like this team, and do you think they could at least temporarily fill the role that the Avengers had? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you can stay up to date on everything relating to the MCU. Giveaway details in the description down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.